Hi, everyone. Matt Clark, research analyst for Money Markets here with your weekly marijuana market update. Now, today, I'm going to respond to a viewer who asked me to analyze a major multi-state operator in the cannabis market. But first, remember, if you do have a question about a cannabis stock or the broader market, you can email me at feedback@moneyandmarkets.com. We'll flash that right down below here. And if we use your question in an upcoming video, in any of our videos, whether it's for me, for Adam, for Charles, doesn't matter, we're going to get some very cool Money and Markets gear for free. We've got hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts, all sorts of great stuff. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Get notified each and every time we post up a new video. And I'd encourage you to check out moneyandmarkets.com. On our website, you can search our proprietary stock power rating system, get the ratings of thousands of stocks. You'll see a breakdown of fundamental and technical ratings, which make up the overall stock rating. Just go to moneyandmarkets.com, type the ticker or company name in the top right-hand search bar, and you'll see you'll be able to get its ranking, stock chart, fundamental data, and any analysis we published all at your fingertips for free. Build your own watch list, track your stock performance, and do all that. Again, you can do all that for free. Now on with today's update. Now, Bruno from Portugal, that's right, actually emailed me recently and said, "Good afternoon. First, thanks for the information shared in YouTube, which I follow. My question is very simple. Is Aurora Cannabis a good buy at the moment because it's at a very low price? Would love some credible predictions." Well, Bruno, thank you for your question. And I certainly hope things are going well for you across the Atlantic in Portugal. Well, a country I've always wanted to go to, by the way. First off, let's get a little background on the company. Aurora Cannabis Incorporated trades on the Nasdaq under the ticker ACB, is a producer and distributor of cannabis in Canada and internationally. It produces various strains of dried cannabis, cannabis oil and capsules, and topical kits for medical patients. The company sells products under several brand names like Aurora, Aurora Drift, San Rafael 71, Daily Special, Alta V, and Canamed. Aurora Cannabis has a market cap of $302.9 million and is the 15th largest cannabis company in the world based on its market cap. Now, the company recently purchased $20 million of convertible senior notes. I know that it's kind of a little hinky, but basically it purchased a lot of its senior notes in order to reduce its total debt. So it had some cash on hand to burn through and paid off some of its senior notes. The total cash interest savings from that purchase is about $7.5 million. So it's going to save itself some money in addition to reducing its debt by not paying that extra interest on those notes that moves forward. Aurora also received EU GMP certification for its medical cannabis production facility in Germany, which gives it a leg up on other companies in the largest cannabis market in the European Union. Now, let's take a look at how ACB stacks up in our Cannabis Power Rating system. Overall, Aurora Cannabis rates a bearish 35 on the rating system. This tells us we should avoid the stock for the time being. Now, remember, the rating system ranks all cannabis stocks against each other using just two metrics: stock momentum and value. The stock scores very low on momentum. It only scores an 8. I'll get to that here in a second. But its sell-off over the last 12 months has turned it into a good value stock where it scores an 83, which is bullish on that metric. Now, let's break down those value metrics. As we can see here, Aurora Cannabis is a much better value when compared to its industry peers. Now, in this case, Aurora is stacked up against the agriculture industry, which is a viable idea here, considering they do actually cultivate product. It's, many people think agriculture is traditional farming, but it is much more all-encompassing than just that. The company has a price-to-sales ratio of 1.61. Its industry average is 3.64. So it's more than half in terms of price to sales. Its ratio is more than half the size of its industry peers. ACB's price to book value is 0.33. The industry peer average for the agriculture industry is 1.08. So 3 times lower than the industry average. Now, you'll see that under price to earnings, Aurora has an NA. Now, this typically means that the company has negative price to earnings ratios. So it means it's not making any money, basically. There's no earnings to compare it to, because it's not actually making any profit. Not necessarily all concerning, because most cannabis companies do have that NA designation next to its price to earnings. Now, we can also dig into the future prospects for Aurora Cannabis and look at its total annual revenue to see where the company is and where it's going. Now, we can see the company had strong sales following 2018. From 2018 to 2020, total annual revenue for Aurora Cannabis jumped 327.3%. It's a massive gain. It started off very, very small and then suddenly just exploded in just 2 years' time. time. However, over the 2 years following that, sales started to decline. By the end of this year, ACB's total sales are expected to be around $173 million, or about 17% lower than their high in 2020. But those sales are projected to turn around, and starting next year, by 2024, the company will have total annual revenue of $204.3 million, or 18.1% higher than this year. But it's still not level with 2020, meaning it's going to remain difficult for Aurora Cannabis to turn a profit in years to come. Now, in the first two fiscal quarters of 2022, it's not a different fiscal calendar than many companies. It's actually now in its fiscal third quarter. It's already reported the first two quarters. Aurora recorded sales of $48 million in each of those quarters. However, in its third fiscal quarter, which wrapped up in May, those sales dropped to only $40 million. Now, when we look at the stock in the last 12 months, Aurora Cannabis stock has plummeted about 83.3%. This is even more significant drop than many other cannabis stocks that we've talked about in the past. By the end, at the end of May of 2022, the stock had dropped 39.2% in a period of about 2 weeks on the heels of its quarterly report, where sales were down $8 million from the previous quarter. Remember, I told you about that. It was $48 million, then it was $40 million. Investors didn't like that, and its stock price just plummeted on really, really high volume. So you saw a lot of people really just dropping out of the stock on those low sales numbers. Currently, the stock price is lower than it's been in its history, even when the company came on the market in 2015. So, Bruno, to answer your question, the free fall of ACB has turned the stock into a very good value. But I like to recommend stocks that have some kind of a confirmed uptrend, and Aurora Cannabis just does not have that right now. You may be inclined to buy the dip here, which I get, but honestly, I don't know if this is the end of the drop for ACB. It's at a low. It's moving a little higher, but it doesn't have that confirmed uptrend I like to see that lasts over a couple of weeks. It's one day is not a momentum trend. You want to see a couple of weeks in the bag here, and right now we're just not seeing that. It's kind of bouncing, testing some support at a very bottom, very low mark. So buying now could produce a loss in your portfolio if the stock continues to go down, and it's going to take even longer for you to see a gain on the position if you do that. So if you buy it here and it continues, you think you're going to buy a dip and it goes down even further, you're going to see a loss from there to there, but it's going to take even longer for you to start realizing gains when the stock does turn upward in its momentum. I think there's a good long-term prospect here for ACB, especially with its recent facility approval in Germany. But institutional investors aren't going to drive the price up just because of that. They want to see much better sales for the company, and I just don't see that happening probably until next year. So for me, better to hold off here, preserve some capital, and wait for a more confirmed uptrend if you're really looking to buy into this stock. You want to see, like I said, a couple weeks of a confirmed uptrend, even if it's just a matter of 1 or 2%. That's still enough to maybe think that we could see an uptrend in the stock that could be a little longer lasting, whereas right now, any uptrend that it has had has been very short-lived. So I really don't think now is the time to get into it. I think you're probably going to be looking at 6 months, maybe 12 months down the road before this is something that you want to get into. It could be sooner. Hard to tell, but the market's kind of in flux. So that's all for me this week. If you have a question about a cannabis stock or maybe even the broader market for myself or Adam or for Charles, you can email us. Our email address is feedback@moneyandmarkets.com. We'll put that right down below there. You can also comment below on our YouTube channel. We'd love to do that as well. If you send us a question and we use it in any of our upcoming videos, we're going to hook you up with some very cool money market swag. We've got some t-shirts, some hats, some sweatshirts, which it's summertime. You probably don't want to have a sweatshirt right now, but just in case, you never know. Maybe you're thinking ahead. We do have those as well. So send us a question, and if we use it, we're going to hook you up with that. Don't forget about all the great content we have right here on our YouTube channel. It is the best investment insight to any market, and it is yours for free. We want to make sure we try to find profit for you in any market condition, bull or bear or neutral. We want to find that for you, and you'll find a lot of that right here on YouTube. You can also follow me on Twitter. I give you more insights, not just into cannabis, but also into the broader market, sports as well, because I'm kind of a sports nut. You can find me on Twitter. My handle is @InvestWithMattC. InvestWithMattC on Twitter. If you follow me, I certainly try to follow you back. Thanks to everyone who watches our videos each and every week. We do it because we want to bring you the best insight, not just into cannabis investing, but broader investing, and try to boost profits for your portfolio. Check out moneymarkets.com each and every day for new content that provides safe, sound, smart, simple, profitable investment information, all for you. I'm Matt Clark, research analyst for Money Markets, and your host of the Marijuana Market Update. Until next time, everyone, safe trading.